I could not get out, and I was totally just brainwashed and hypnotized. And it was like she had my soul. It was like I had to go back to collect my soul to feel something inside of me. It's just horrible. I can barely even think and remember. But the other time was when they invited us over for dinner. She had then forced me to wear a certain thing and not say things, and also how she would control them was she would on call, she would call them and I would find out secretly, and this also led me to just extreme depression. I was just like, oh God, she's controlling my parents and telling them stuff, and she just told everything is okay and he's doing very well and all of this stuff, and convincing my parents. And that's how she would control the whole thing, by secretly emailing my parents through email. And every time she would come over, I remember she would basically control the whole conversation. I was just paralyzed again. Like, my dad was looking at me like, what's going on? She would have conversations with them. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't have anything to say. If I said something, it would be totally exposing her, and that would have caused hell. So obviously, she planted a way for that not to happen. She would make it seem like she was doing a plus to mankind by doing what she was doing. She believed, and again, I don't know what she was thinking, but she made it seem like she was doing some sort of good to humanity by that was her ultimate thing. And I didn't believe that. There was no exact plan. There was no exact initiative she had told me. I just thought what she told me, hey, she said Swamiji sent her to me, so then let that be, let that flower. And after the 2 weeks, she had totally had me in her trap where I could not get out, and I was totally just brainwashed and hypnotized. And it was like she had my soul. It was like I had to go back to collect my soul to feel something inside of me that makes me important. So all my importance was taken from the divine and from Swamiji and put in her with her perfect, sinister plan of hypnotism, brainwashing, vulgar language. Her language got to the point where it was disgusting. And yes,
and I wouldn't have seen
disgusting language.
Any of that. You see, when she was around us, it was and this whole act.
I would be so worried when she came over.
That's the thing. I always sensed something not right here. All the time, right through. And the separation between Luke and us, I could see that happening more and more. And I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on here? Like, we aren't like this. We're not a family like this. And I thought, what is going on down there?
We're very orthodox.
We're a good family. We abide by the law. We work hard. My husband works very hard. We have good jobs. We love our children. I have a young daughter too. He's a sister, Lauren. And something like this just doesn't happen. We are that close, that I want to know what's going on. And when I don't hear from my son for 6 weeks after I said goodbye to him when we moved him in, that was very concerning. And when she was up here, it was like somehow she was turning things around, that it was Luke's problem, not her problem. She'd always start that. So I would start thinking, oh, gee, Luke's not being responsible with this and that. And so I think she was working at me to get upset with him, that it was all his fault.
So my parents, again, when I came home, that was what really created the chaos in our family. Even trying to get my own family, my own parents, if you could imagine, against me.
Well, and then him showing up at 2 a.m. and being really upset, we'd be like, what's going on? What happened? Down there.
I would fall out of I don't know. I would fall out of the trance sometimes, and it was usually
really
at night
upset.
when she had fallen asleep, and
He would sneak out and come up here.
I just can barely even remember. It's just horrifying.
The question from my husband and I was always, what is going on down there, and what is she saying to him? Because my son keeps getting further and further away from us, and yet he wants to come back. He tried to come back 2 or 3 times, but was always pulled back. And then I remember her taking an Uber all the way from the apartment up to here and meeting Luke at Tim Hortons, and Luke was supposed to go to fireworks with his sister, and his sister ended up being very disappointed because she controlled the whole situation and sat with him in the restaurant for over 2 hours. And Lauren called me and said, "Mom, you better pick me up. I'm not getting to go to the fireworks because Sarah's up here," and convincing him to come back and to make up. And that was so disappointing to her because Luke normally would go with his sister to the fireworks. Whatever
Yes.
it was the first of the Canada Day for fireworks or something, I think it was. That was towards the end of the relationship.
I just my
She
sense
kept
of
pulling him back.
my sense of integrity, all of these things was just up in the air and totally just removed from me completely. I remember my sister was having her birthday. This is when I came over, and my parents, I just hid with them, and I just told them all some of this stuff, and they were just so in depression. They didn't know what to do, and I remember her just doing my sister's makeup, and I was like, oh God, like only if she knew what. I just felt horrible, like she had infiltrated my family and started just destroying people. Like my father, as I said, had to go to the hospital due to his viral meningitis kicking back in. It's a swelling of the meninges in the brain and the spinal cord. So whenever a high amount of stress is there, which there was because they were worried for their sons, and this is on hospital records.
It was toxic. It was so
It's just
toxic.
disgusting.
It was toxic by the end. So toxic.